Okay, calling the 10 a.m. meeting to order. This meeting, including audio and video remote participants, is being streamed live on YouTube. You will find links to viewing options for all Senate meetings on our live and on-demand video page of our website. In the event we have to end this hearing due to technical difficulties, we will reconvene on Thursday, April 9, 10:56 in this room. This is for decision-making, oral testimony. No oral testimony will be taken. If you're interested in reviewing the written testimony, please go to our website. You will find the link on the status page of each measure. Okay, House Bill 1800. The recommendation is to pass with amendments. Any discussion?
Good bill.
The macro issue,
Which one?
macro issue that we've been getting emails.
Military.
Oh, yeah,
Military issue macro.
the macro
The
In the
this bill, yeah.
wait, recess.
You want?
Okay, discussion. So mahalo to Senate President, Vice President Kidani, Majority Leader Kanuha, Vice Chair Moriwaki, the subject matter committee chairs for their leadership as we address this complex statewide issues. Thank you to the Ways and Means Committee. Also, a big mahalo to Governor Green and the administration for the continued partnership in the face of federal funding changes and local severe weather events. HB 1800 is a culmination of many hours of dedication and diligent efforts by this body to identify opportunities for strategic appropriations to create a home where our residents can be globally competitive. Economic uncertainty caused policy changes at the federal level that impact safety net programs. SNAP and Medicaid eligibility changes put vulnerable households at risk of losing food assistance and health coverage and shift administrative costs to the state. Cost of living increases due to the war in the Middle East. And in March 2026, Kona low weather events caused significant damage across the state. On March 23rd, Governor submitted a formal request for a presidential disaster declaration, which would unlock critical support from FEMA. On March 24th, the congressional delegation submitted a letter in support stating the damage from the storms may exceed $1 billion. A major disaster declaration for Hawaii has not been received. These economic uncertainties emphasize the importance of the Senate's position to preserve future income tax cuts for working families. The budget is part of a larger package of tax system reform, long-term investments, and cost-saving measures to increase the resilience of the state, while also delivering on meaningful tax relief to our working families. The budget reflects a multi-pronged approach that captures underutilized funds to prioritize resources for essential public services, including funding for programs in critical areas as identified in the Senate Majority Package: housing and affordability, workforce development and economic diversification, healthcare and public safety, education and higher education, food security, agriculture and environment, infrastructure, transportation and community support, and government reform and operations. Cost-saving strategies in the budget to prioritize underutilized funds for essential public services include reducing lapse funds on the basing it on the average of the last 5 years, which produced a savings of more than $240 million in general funds. We're also eliminating long-term vacancies in alignment with DHER's Act 57 report, producing cost savings totaling more than $17 million across all means of financing, including $8 million in general funds. We're eliminating vacancies that are not in active recruitment according to each department, producing cost savings totaling more than $26 million across all means of financing, including $11 million in general funds. And we are encouraged by financial self-sustainability for authorities and corporations by centralizing administrative services and shifting them to non-general funds, producing cost savings totaling more than $39 million. The Senate draft proposes an operating budget. All means of financing, 772 billion in fiscal year 26 and 20.147 billion in fiscal year 27. General funds total 10 billion 425 million in fiscal year 26 and 10 billion 441 million 10 billion 441 billion 10,441 million in fiscal year 27. The highlights of our budget include for Department of Agriculture and Biosecurity, we're reducing $262,455 in unutilized non-general funds, increasing federal fund ceilings by $100,000 for brown tree snake program, adding a little over 18 million for agricultural land and industry protection for invasive species, adding 2.5 million for agricultural systems for preparedness projects. We're increasing pesticide use revolving fund ceiling by 600,000 to deal with the pesticide disposal program. For accounting and general services, we're adding a little over $1 million for statewide utilities. We're adding 1 permanent position and 85,000 for central custodial services, adding 250,000 for building repairs and maintenance. We're increasing the state motor pool revolving fund ceiling by 1.3 million for electrical infrastructure and equipment, and increasing the state parking revolving fund ceiling by 500,000 for electrical infrastructure and equipment. For the Department of the Attorney General, we're adding $1 million for litigation expenses, increasing the federal fund ceiling by $345,159 for federal awards, and we're increasing the Medicaid Investigations Recovery Special Fund by $200,000 for anticipated federal award state match. For DBED, we're increasing the Energy Security Fund ceiling by $6 million for geothermal, carbon sequestration, and underground water resource characterization program, adding 400,000 for regional tourism marketing and route development, consolidating 11 permanent positions and 6 temporary positions, and $1,359,612 from various attached agencies under the DBED Director's Office for Administrative Services, transferring in 1 permanent position and $116,265 to establish a taxation compliance coordinator. We're increasing the Special Land Development Fund special fund by $2 million for a national disaster economic recovery strategy update and implementation. We're adding $11,636,000 for water systems safety and preparedness. And we're changing the means of financing for 29.5 permanent positions, 3 temporary positions, and $8,701,506 from general to non-general funds for attached corporations and authorities. We're adding $300,000 for educational exchange programs in coordination with the Maui and Oahu Metropolitan Planning Organization. For BNF, we're adding $1,820,168 and increasing the special fund ceiling by $320,844 to implement recommendations from the Commission on Salaries. We're adding $3,527,463 for fringe benefits, increasing ERS ceiling by $123,343 and 1 permanent position, increasing the Hawaii Employer Union Health Benefit Trust Fund ceiling by $139,598 for 1 position, and we're adding $748,552 for the health premium payouts, excluding DOE and UH. For DCCA, increasing special fund ceilings by $1,175,372 for fringe benefits, increasing the PUC special fund ceiling by $595,915 for Division of Consumer Advocacy Operations, increasing the compliance resolution special fund ceiling by $20,000 for outreach events and public service announcements. For Department of Defense, we're increasing the Hawaii and Air National Federal Fund ceiling by $118,376 for 2 building and grounds supervisors. We're increasing the same ceiling by by $78,595 for one natural resources management program specialist, and also increasing the ceiling by $83,570 for one engineer. We're also increasing the ceiling by $27,571 for one vector control worker for the Hawaii Army and Air National Guard, and by $31,451 for one administration assistant for the Hawaii Air National Guard, and adding $50 million for an infusion into the Major Disaster Fund. We're also transferring in two positions and $3,258,451 for the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency. For DOE, we are adding 26 permanent positions and $1,065,640 for regional kitchen operations. We're adding one permanent janitor too, and $50,640 for the high core temporary and future permanent facility. We're increasing the teacher housing revolving fund ceiling by $500,000 for teacher housing cottage repairs. Increasing the facilities development assessment revolving fund ceiling by $7 million for architectural and engineering services to support CIP and deferred maintenance. Adding $675,000 for the McKinley Community School for Adults statewide digital curriculum access and K-12 curriculum. Adding two permanent positions for the Hawaii Early Childhood State Plan, and adding one permanent evaluation specialist too for early learning system coordination. For the Office of the Governor, we are adding $280,935 for operating expenses. For Department of Hawaiian Homelands, we're increasing federal fund revolving loan ceiling by $23 million for federally funded loan disbursements. For DHS, we're adding $1.5 million for child protective contract services. We're adding $297,500 for the Office of Wellness and Resilience expenses. We're adding $22,080 for the Office of Wellness and Resilience collective bargaining, adding $30 million in general funds, and increased federal fund ceiling by $30 million for system requirements and staff augmentation to implement Congressional H.R. 1. We're adding $16.5 million to cover the loss of Affordable Care Act tax credits. We're changing the means of financing from federal to general funds for 101.53 permanent positions and $13,423,792 for SNAP administrative expenses. We're adding $45 million in general funds and increasing the federal fund ceiling by $65,375,276 for capitation expenditures. For Department of Health, we're increasing the universal immunization purchase special fund ceiling by $30 million to support vaccine purchasing program startup. Adding $1,416,250 for core clinical services at Kahuku Hospital, and adding $6 million in overtime for the Hawaii State Hospital. We're adding $8,044,600 for the psychiatric bed contracts for the Hawaii State Hospital, and $206,158 for an integrated data system. We're increasing the medical cannabis registry and regulation special fund ceiling by $500,000 for a cannabis registry and regulation reference library. We're adding $4.5 million for emergency medical services, and we're adding $2,780,000 for Department of Health lease rent. For Department of Law Enforcement, we're transferring in $318,000 from the Department of Labor and Industrial Relations for the State Fire Council, and adding $818,600 for wildfire preparedness. For Department of Labor, we're transferring out the $318,000 to the Office of the State Fire Marshal in DLE, and we're adding $898,000 for farm to food bank programs. For DLNR, we're adding two permanent positions, $133,566 for the Hawaii Climate Change Mitigation and Adaptation Commission. We're adding one permanent position and $150,000 for the Na'alahele Trails Program. We're increasing the Red Hill Remediation Special Fund ceiling by $5.5 million for Red Hill remediation projects. We're increasing federal fund ceilings by $850,923 for native resources and seabirds. increasing federal fund ceiling by $5,562,554 for Native Resources and Fire Protection Program statewide, increasing federal fund ceilings by $1,517,510 and adding 15 positions for the Division of Forestry and Wildlife. We're increasing Ocean-Based Recreation Special Fund by $5 million for maintenance and repair projects at small boat harbors. And we're adding $42 million in fiscal year 26 and $87 million in fiscal year 27 to be deposited into the Special Land and Development Special Fund for green fee projects, which will be distributed to appropriate departments for specific projects. For Department of Corrections and Rehab, we're transferring $2,509,942 from non-state facilities and $123,411 for general administration for 35 permanent positions to provide mental health services. For Department of Taxation, we're adding $200,000 for the Tax Review Commission and 2 permanent and 1 temporary position, and $248,292 for revenue collection. For Department of Transportation, we're increasing the state operating allotment special fund ceiling several times, $800,000 for traffic signals, $350,000 for guardrail repair, and $675,000 for roadside safety maintenance. We're increasing the airport revenue special fund ceiling by $23 million for fire suppression system at the Conrack facility, and increasing Harbor's special fund ceiling by $4.5 million for electronic data interchange system, so that they can take it all off of paper. We're increasing the airport revenue fund ceiling by $2.5 million for seamless border entry, increasing state operating allotment special fund ceiling by $750,000 for historic Oahu Railroad and land operations. We're increasing various special fund ceilings by $1,251,000 for internship programs across DOT. And for University of Hawaii, we're increasing the UH tuition and fee special fund ceiling by $4,169,328 to support culinary programs, and by $319,000 and adding 3 positions for the business administration program at UH West Oahu. This budget reflects a shared responsibility to strengthen the fiscal future of our state and well-being of our residents by stabilizing critical public services, protecting natural resources and infrastructure, and facilities, and facilitates regional economic development and diversification to build Hawaii's economic resilience. Mahalo again to the committee, to the leadership, and to the members, the governor's administration, and the departments. Thank you very much for helping us develop this budget. The recommendation is to pass with amendments. Any further discussion? Yeah. Okay, if not, chair votes aye.
Chair votes, pass with amendments, chair votes aye, vice chair votes aye. Senator DeCoite.
Aye.
Senator Elefante.
Aye.
Senator Hashimoto.
Aye.
Senator Inoue.
Aye.
Senator Kanuha.
Aye.
Senator Idani.
Aye.
Senator Kim.
Aye.
Senator Lee.
Aye.
Senator Richards.
Aye.
Senator Wakai.
Yes.
Senator Favela.
Aye.
Your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. So we're going to adjourn. There's probably a lot of you that want to leave, so if you can do so quietly. Okay, calling the 10:01 agenda to order. First item is House Bill 1769. Recommendation is to pass unamended. Any discussion? Not chair votes aye.
Members present, anyone voting no with reservation?
Reservations.
Reservation for Senator Elefante. Anyone else? Recommendation adopted.
Thank you. Next item, House Bill 2386. Recommendation is to pass with amendments. We're going to amend section 1 by deleting the proposed section relating to automatic adjustment mechanisms, including the water carrier inflationary cost index provisions in its entirety, and inserting a new section to read as set forth in the attached replacement language. The replacement section shall require the PUC to initiate and complete formal rulemaking pursuant to Chapter 91 prior to approving any automatic adjustment mechanisms, specify mandatory minimum elements that must be included in the rules, including financial and operational due diligence requirements, a maximum allowable annual percentage increase, a maximum duration before a general rate case is required, accounting separation between regulated and unregulated operations, evaluation of long-term commitment to Hawaii and workforce stability, prohibition on dividend payments or other financial distributions during the years AAM is applied, a mandatory 2-year cooling off period following a general rate case increase, performance metrics related to service reliability and operational efficiency, mandatory community outreach and public engagement requirements, prohibition on executive bonuses and or compensation increases during the years the AAM is applied, biosecurity compliance requirements tied to harbor access, annual compliance reporting, and procedures for corrective action in cases of noncompliance. Require that rules adopted under this section be presented to and subject to the approval of the governor with a 21-day review period. Maintain that any request to establish an AAM must be submitted as a 45-day tariff transmittal filing or as part of a general rate case application subject to adopted rules. Retain the exemption for customers eligible for preferential agricultural water rates under section 269-26.5 and delete all references to prior water carrier inflationary cost index mechanisms tied to DOT wharfage increases. And sunset the bill on July 1st, 2032, reenacting HRS section 271G-1 in the form in which it read on the day before the effective date of this act. Any discussion?
Chair. So, thank you for the amendments to the bill. I just like make sure because the conversation has been to reduce, barge service to an island or individual islands, that there is service parity and that all islands will continue to remain with the same barge service and not to have reduction.
Any further discussion?
Sure.
If not, Chip, no.
Yeah, I just want to echo, I do appreciate the amendments because this is critical for the neighbor islands and getting this thing done. So I appreciate the work that's being done and trying to find the pathway forward. So thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? If not, Chip, sorry.
Here, just want to thank you and the staff as well in coming to some of the critical messages that we're sending, that the island transportation maritime process is important for neighbor islands. And I think we all understand that we need young brothers to survive. I appreciate the work put into this by your staff as well. Thank you so much. Aye.
Okay, all members present. No, no is aye. All members present, anyone voting no with reservation?
Reservations.
Reservation for Senator. Okay. Okay, recommendation adopted.
Thank you. Next item, House Bill 2095. Recommendation is to pass as amended. The Senate draft proposes an operating budget, all MOF 204,900,000 for fiscal year 26 and 200 million in fiscal year 27. General funds are 192,100,000 in fiscal year 26 and 188,130,000 in fiscal year 27. We're reducing $618,444 for lapse funds based on the average of last 5 years, reducing $2,179,383 for positions that have been vacant for more than 5 years and for positions that are not in active recruitment. We're adding $2,298,779 to implement recommendations from the Commission on Salaries. We're adding $574,716 for substance abuse treatment contracts and $3,250,000 for supplemental armed security services. The recommendation is to pass as amended. Any discussion? Not Chair votes aye.
Members present, anyone voting no with reservation? Recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. Okay, calling the 10:02 agenda to order. First item, House Bill 649, recommendation is to pass unamended. Any discussion? Madam Chair votes aye.
Members present, anyone voting no with reservation, recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. Next item, House Bill 1815, recommendation is to pass unamended. Any discussion? Madam Chair votes aye.
All members present, anyone voting no with reservation, recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. Next item, House Bill 1894, recommendation is to pass unamended. Any discussion? Chair votes aye.
All members present, anyone voting no with reservation, recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. Next item, House Bill 1920, recommendation is to pass with amendments. We're gonna adopt language from Doe Tax's testimony on page 2, line 12, to read, provided that the transferee shall not further allocate, transfer, sell, or assign all or a portion of the credit to any taxpayer. Any discussion? Not Chair votes aye.
Anyone voting no with reservation, recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. Next item, recommendation for House Bill 1929 is to pass with amendments, removing section 4 of the bill in all instances of general obligation bonds. Any discussion? Chair votes aye.
Anyone voting no with reservation, recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. Next item, House Bill 1973, recommendation is to pass unamended. Any discussion? Chair votes aye.
Anyone voting no with reservation, recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. Next item, House Bill 1974, recommendation is to pass unamended. Any discussion? Chair votes aye.
Anyone voting no with reservation, recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. Next item, House Bill 2429, recommendation is to pass with amendments to take the tax foundation's amendments in testimony. Any discussion? Not Chair votes aye.
Anyone voting no with reservation, recommendation.
Thank you. Okay, calling the 1015 Joint Committee on Ways and Means and Judiciary to order. First item is House Bill 1588. Our recommendation is to pass with amendments affecting the date to 25th. Any discussion? Not Chair votes aye.
Pass with amendments, all members present, anyone voting no with reservation.
No vote.
No vote for Senator Vella. Recommendation adopted.
For JDC members, same recommendation on HB 1588 relating to noise detection cameras, just a different bad date. Questions or concerns? If not, Senator Gabbard.
Chair Rhodes,
Aye.
Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Chang. Aye. Senator San Buenaventura.
Aye.
Senator Owa. Measures adopted.
Thank you. Next item, House Bill 1870. Recommendation is to pass unamended. Any discussion? Not Chair votes aye.
Members present, anyone voting no with reservation.
No vote.
No for Senator Vella. Recommendation is adopted.
Okay, for JDC members on HB 1870, civil immigration enforcement, same recommendation, pass as is. Questions or concerns? If not, Vice Chair.
Any no votes or reservations for eight? No. Senator Owa. Measures adopted.
Thank you. Next item, House Bill 2062. Recommendation is to pass with amendments, passing with just tech amendments. Any discussion? Not Chair votes aye.
Present, anyone voting no with reservation.
Agree.
Senator Vella, no vote. Recommendation adopted.
Thank you. Next up, for JDC on HB 2062 on relating to gun violence prevention, same recommendation, just text. Questions or concerns? If not, Vice Chair.
Any no votes or reservations on eight? Measures adopted.
Thank you. Next item, House Bill 2395. Recess. Okay, calling meeting back to order. House Bill 2395. Recommendation is to pass unamended. Any discussion? Madam Chair votes aye.
All members present, anyone voting no with reservation.
Reservations.
Reservation, no. Dr. Vella. Recommendation is adopted.
Okay, for JDC members on HB 2395 on the taking of marine deposits, same recommendation, pass as is. Questions or concerns? If not, Vice Chair.
Any no votes, reservations? Hearing none, the measure is adopted.
Okay, moving to HB 463 relating to eviction records requires the judiciary to conduct a study to determine the ability best approaches various issues and potential impacts of requiring courts to disassociate a residential tenant from an eviction proceeding. Our recommendation is to pass with technical amendments and adjust the dates by 1 year since it's a carryover bill. Questions or concerns? If not, Vice Chair Gabbard.
Any no votes or reservations? Senator Was, no. Measures adopted.
Ways and Means, same recommendation.
Votes, any reservations?
No vote.
No vote for Senator Bella. Recommendations adopted.
Okay, thank you. Next up is HB 1509 relating to workers' compensation, repeals the authorization of a physician to transmit a treatment plan by mail or facsimile, and does a number of other things. Recommendation is to pass unamended. Questions or concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair.
Any no votes or reservations?
Reservations.
Senator San Buenaventura's reservations. Measures adopted.
Oh, Ways and Means, same recommendation.
Any no votes? Any reservations?
Reservation.
Senator Bella. Recommendations adopted.
Next up is HB 1518 relating to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program requires DHS upon obtaining a federal waiver to establish a pre-release SNAP application process for inmates nearing release. Recommendation here is to pass as is. Questions or concerns? If not, Vice Chair.
Any no votes or reservations? Hearing none, the measure is adopted.
Ways and Means, same recommendation.
Any no votes? Any reservation? Recommendations.
Okay, thank you. Next up is HB 1573 requires electronic smoking device and e-liquid manufacturers to certify the Department of Attorney General annually that the manufacturer received a marketing granted order from the Federal Food and Drug Administration. Recommendation here is to pass as is. Questions, concerns? If not, Senator Gabbard.
Any no votes or reservations? Hearing none, the measure is adopted.
Ways and Means, same recommendation.
Any no votes? Anyone with reservation? Recommendations adopted.
Thank you. Next up is HB 1628 relating to compassionate release. Recommendation here is to pass as is. Questions or concerns? If not, Vice Chair.
Any no votes or reservations? Hearing none, the measure is adopted.
Same recommendation, Ways and Means.
Any no votes? Any
Reservations.
Senator Elafante? Anyone else? Recommendation adopted.
Thank you. Next up is HB 1642 relating to consumer protection. It establishes limits on transactions through digital financial asset transaction kiosks. Recommendation is to pass as is. It does still have a defective date. Questions or concerns? If not, Senator Gabbard.
Any no votes or reservations? Hearing none, the measure is adopted.
Same recommendation, Ways and Means.
No votes? Any reservation? Recommendations adopted.
Thank you. Next up is HB 1664 relating to Hawai'i Employer Union Health Benefits Trust Fund allows impasses and disputes relating to the amount of state and county contributions to the UTF to be resolved by arbitration. Will pass with just a different effective date, March 22, 2075. Questions or concerns? If not, Senator Gabbard.
Any reservations or no votes? Measures adopted.
Same recommendation, Ways and Means.
Any no votes? Any reservation? Recommendations adopted.
Okay, thank you. Next up is HB 1776 relating to residential landlord tenant code requires the Office of Consumer Protection to publish an accessible multilingual notice of tenants' rights online. Because the Senate bill has cleared its last committee in the House, JDC will defer the measure. You want to defer it too, or do you want to just keep going?
Yeah, same recommendation.
Okay. Next up is HB 1839 relating to immigration requires state and county law enforcement agencies to notify an individual in the custody of a state or county law enforcement agency of their rights before any interview with federal immigration authorities can occur. Recommendation here is to put a different bad date on it, March 22, 2075. Questions or concerns? If not, Vice Chair.
Any no votes or reservations? No vote for Senator Owa. Measures adopted.
Same recommendation, Ways and Means.
No votes? Any reservation?
No vote.
Senator Bella. Recommendations adopted.
Thank you. Next up is HB 1898 relating to health. Specifies that no person is subject to liability for providing clinical preventive services in accordance with the Department of Health recommendations and other things. Recommendation is to pass as is. It does have a bad date still. Questions or concerns? If not, Vice Chair.
Any no votes or reservations? No. No vote for Senator Wah. Measures adopted.
Same recommendation, Ways and Means.
No votes, reservation.
No vote.
Votes for Senator Bella. Recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. Next up is HB 1990. This establishes penalties, including fines and liens for an owner of residential real property's failure to remediate zoning violations. Recommendation here is to add a provision to allow for appeal of penalties under this section to district or circuit court as applicable. Questions or concerns? If not, Vice Chair.
Any no votes or reservations?
No.
No vote for Senator San Buenaventura
No, here too.
and Senator Wah. Measures adopted.
Same recommendation, Ways and Means.
Any no votes? Any reservation?
No vote for me.
Senator, no?
Yes,
No vote,
no.
okay. Recommendations adopted.
Thank you. Next up is HB 2023. This requires the Department of Transportation to administer a statewide program for certification of active intelligence speed assistance systems. Recommendation is to pass with amendments, and we'd like to specify that the active intelligence speed assistance systems clauses only apply when on public highways. Questions or concerns? If not, Senator Gabbard.
Any no votes or reservations?
No.
No vote for Senator San Buenaventura and Senator Wah. Measures adopted.
Same recommendation, Ways and Means.
Anyone voting no? Reservation,
Reservations.
recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you. Next up is HB 2091 relating to petitions to temporarily restrain and enjoin harassment of an employee. I'm going to defer this because the SB has passed its last committee in the House. Next up is HB 2417 relating to administrative license revocation, clarifies administrative driver's license revocation procedures. Recommendation is to pass as is. Questions or concerns? If not, Vice Chair.
Any no votes or reservations? Hearing none, the measure is adopted.
Same recommendation, Ways and Means.
Any no votes? Any reservation? Recommendations adopted. Pass it. Amendments. It's passed.
No, we just say it. We just say it. Then it's right here. So on House Bill 2091, recommendation for Ways and Means to defer. I'm sorry.
Oh, we had to go back.
Yeah, 2091 was it.
Yeah, backing up to 2090.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one.
Okay.
Did you guys vote on? You guys vote on 2417, right? Sorry, I missed it. 2417, you bow.
You deferred 2991.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to HB 2455, requires certain employers to provide administrative leave of absence for victims of workplace violence or threat of workplace violence. Recommendation is to pass as is. Questions or concerns? If not, Vice Chair.
Any no votes or reservations? Hearing none, the measure is adopted.
Same recommendation, Ways and Means.
Any no votes? Any reservation? Recommendation is adopted.
Okay, last is HB 2592. This is relating to Mauna Kea Stewardship and Oversight Authority. A lot of testimony came in very late and we had no chance to consult with prior chairs. So we're going to defer this until tomorrow at 10:30 in this room. It's going to be April 9th, and I don't know what this room number is, 211? 211. Okay.
Thank you.